Today will be a bit more around breathing and breath and a bit of introspection. We'll work with the myofascial system around the diaphragm and around the rib cage, so the lungs and the heart. And so we'll do a lot more breath-based practice today. So if you can, I'm going to give you a couple tools to grab. I would recommend grabbing a blanket, a rolled blanket for sure. I'm going to be using my Coregeous ball for a good amount of this, but a rolled up blanket is a perfect alternative. You could also use the foam roller. I have this softer melt foam roller, which I love using for this work. But if you have a hard foam roller, generally I think it's too hard. So I'd probably opt for a blanket. And then it might be nice to have a block or even another little blanket for a pillow just to support the head as well. So that you have a little support for the head as you do this work. And a second blanket would be a little softer than a block. And we'll get going in about 2 minutes. So I think we can begin. So let's begin today on our backs. And as we lie down on our backs, I'll give you a choice of whatever tool you want to use behind the back, right behind the chest, so that you're really lifting up the heart space. I'm actually going to use the blanket to start because I feel like this is probably the easiest for you to access at home. If you'd like, you can use the Coregeous ball. Keep it just slightly flat. And like I said, foam roller is doable too. It's just awfully hard. And if you do use the foam roller, I would put the foam roller behind the back, then with probably the towel roll under the head so that you cradle the neck as well. So I'm just going to lie on my back. And I'm going to take this blanket right across my neck. So I'm landing just underneath the armpits so that I can let my arms come out towards a T position. And if you find that the head isn't comfortable, this is where having that second, the head is tipping back too much. This is where that second blanket or towel is helpful to cradle the head. And that's why when you use the foam roller, it's just a lot. And just arrive here. Let the arms come out wide. Let the palms turn upward. You can keep the knees bent or even let them fall to the sides. Whatever suits you in this moment, I'm going to keep them bent. And I'm just going to bring my awareness to my body, feeling my body supported. Feeling my feet my hips, spine, head, back of the arms, all melting into the floor. And we'll make today's practice a little bit more restorative, particularly with everything that's going on, the pain, the sorrow, the violence. Just finding a moment of stillness and coming back to support is really important during this time. And this practice was themed the thorax version of the myofascial core. And that myofascial core surrounds the heart, surrounds the lungs, the inside of the rib cage, the diaphragm. It's what gives us life and supports our vital organs. So as we arrive in today's practice, bring the sensation back into the body, observing what it's like to feel alive in your body. Welcome and notice any emotions that may be arising. Maybe there's sorrow, which is held in the lungs. Let whatever arises be there. And just feel your body sinking into the floor, into the support. Feeling your way through sensation into the deep core of your body, around the vital organs. And now let's awaken very gentle movement into that area. If your legs are down, bring them back to being bent. Bring your feet closer to the width of the mat. And then just starting to let the legs rock side to side. And as you let the legs rock side to side, coming to a little gentle trunk rotation, you may begin to feel how you start to get a gentle massage behind the back of the heart, that space between the shoulder blades. And stay with the sensation behind the heart, bringing your awareness there, bringing your breath there, welcoming sensations as well as emotions that arise. And then when you come to one side or the other in the next round, doesn't matter which side you choose, maybe pause in that rotation, letting both knees drop to one side while keeping the back and the shoulders on the roll and on the floor. Letting go of efforting and welcoming feeling with each inhale as sensation in the body. Noticing where you feel the sensations. Being with whatever is right now in this moment. And then take a full breath in, exhaling through the mouth. And then allowing the legs to cross to the other side. Letting both knees drop to the opposite direction. Breathing into where the back and the rolled blanket meet. Feeling what arises in sensation, emotion, that backside of the heart. Opening yourself to this internal core, this vital core of feeling, of breathing, of being alive, and welcoming all things that arise, holding space for everything. In this place, we feel the sorrows and the heartbreaks of life, the sensations of being stabbed in the back. Allow all of it to be there. And know that it's also in this space that joy arises. Happiness and pleasure arises. And they're the opposites of the coin, or the ends of the spectrum. So whatever's coming up, allow yourself to be with it just as it is. Take one more full breath in, and then exhale through the nose. And let the legs come back to center. And now bring the arms behind the neck so that you're cradling the neck. And then press the elbows broad into the floor, that you get a little activation in that back body, and press the tailbone down so that you're arching over this roll, holding it. 2 more breaths, pushing into the back body, feeling the expansion. And then as you exhale, tuck the tailbone, curl the elbows in, and allow yourself to round in. You'll feel now how this support behind you actually lifts you up and moves you a little bit more into this rounding. And then come back down, take a deep breath in, push the elbows back, hold that. Take a few breaths. One more inhale. And then exhale the tailbone, draw the elbows together, and feel how the roll supports the back of the heart, allowing you to just a little bit more. Bring your gaze towards your navel. Let's do this 3 more times, pressing back, holding it, feeling the expression of expansion in your body, feeling the openness, expression, vulnerability from the front body opening. And then as you exhale, curl into yourself, tuck the chin, bring the gaze towards the navel, rounding, feeling the support behind the heart lift you up. 2 more times on your own breath. Pausing and feeling each expression and what occurs in the body. The feeling state of curling and the feeling state of expansion. Welcoming both ends of the spectrum. And then now move between each. So inhale and arch, and then exhale and round. Inhale and arch. Exhale and round. Inhale and arch. Exhale and round. 2 more times. And then coming back to your back, removing the blankets completely now. Lie flat on your back. Let your legs come out. Let your palms turn up. And feel completely supported for a moment. Feeling the breath move with ease throughout the body. Unrestricted breathing here. And then bend your knees, rolling to your side. You can stay with the blanket, or you could come to the gorgeous ball. Either works just fine, but just for ease, I'm gonna stay with the blanket because I know all of you probably have a blanket. Like I said, the gorgeous ball is really nice too. It's gonna be in about the same position now. And I'm gonna take a little block to support my head to begin. And I'm gonna let my front arm just slide out in front of me. So I land on the side of the shoulder blade so that I'm in a little side bend over the roll. And it's up to you whether you wanna support the head or whether the head feels nice coming down to the floor. That will give you a little bit more of a side bend. And now breathe into the sides of the ribs. Feel that expansion outward, like an accordion or like gills of the body expanding. And now take a deep breath in, and we'll add a little holding of the breath. So as you breathe in, pause and hold that inhale. Holding it as long as comfortably possible, feeling the pressure build inside the rib cage. Maybe sipping in a little bit more air. And then sipping in a little bit more air. One more time, breathing in. And then as you exhale, empty fully, even contract the abdominals, feeling the ribs move towards one another, letting go of anything you're holding on to. And we're working on recoiling through those hearts and lungs, awakening all that connective tissue that surrounds, supports, and separates all our vital organs. So again, breathe in, hold the breath. Sip in a little bit more. A little bit more. One more time. Then exhale through the mouth. Hold the exhale even. Feel what it's like to be empty. And welcome the inhale gently as it comes, not forcing it, so not getting to the point where you slurp in the inhale. And then let's do that one more time. Take one more breath in. Pause, holding the inhale.
feeling what it's like to be full, feeling that breath circle around the rib cage, circle around the lungs and the heart. Awakening sensation on the inside of the thorax. And then exhaling at your own time and breath so it's comfortable for you. And when the inhale comes, welcoming it fully. And then you may feel like you have a little more space now, so you may even want to let the head just fall down to the floor. And now we'll do a little ringing. So now we're getting this ringing action of the rib cage by rotating. So take a deep breath, and I want you to start to twist all the way back, looking behind you, letting your top arm reach out like a T. Take a full breath in here. And then as you exhale, bring the arm back over. And now we're mobilizing that bottom side of the rib as it rests on your towel, on your blanket, on your gorgeous ball, even foam, whatever feels right for you. Deep breath in, arm comes across the body. Exhale. Hold for a full breath. And then exhaling back. Maybe 3 more times. Wringing out this whole thoracic cavity. Feeling those places around the lungs where maybe the breath doesn't want to go. Or maybe it's breathing into a sensation or emotion around the lungs. What happens as you breathe in? Do you awaken any emotions, any feelings? And then as you exhale, letting them go. Welcoming them in. And then exhale, letting go. One more round just like this. When we move into the welcoming, it allows us to be with what is. It allows us to soften and accept, to process and digest. We try to press down those sensations, both physical and emotional, then they get stuck. Then we harbor, and it's like holding our breath and not letting it go. And it can build up toxins in the body. So as we do this work of taking in and letting go, it may bring things up, what you're feeling now, things from the past, allowing it all to be here and welcoming it. Being with yourself just as you are. Everything just as it is. And then exhale, bringing your hands back together. One more mobilization here. Now we'll circle the arms. So keeping your hands on the floor as long as possible. I want you to windmill the arm up and overhead, reaching back, trying to keep the fingers on the floor as long as possible, feeling how the spine turns. And then when the arm has to come off the floor, exhale and let the arm come back down. Sweep around, come back to the floor out in front. Walk the hands up. Pause in that spot where the hand just barely touches the floor, just maintaining contact for a second, feeling the edge of your mobility, and then sweeping the arm around and down. And then one more time. And then come onto your side. Staying on your side, I'm going to back up a little bit so don't kick my computer. Staying on your side, bring your legs out in front. And it's kind of like you're doing a forward fold, like a seated forward fold. But now you're doing it on your side. So reach your hands towards the shins, towards the ankles, towards the feet. And feel what it's like to do this on your side. Curling back up into yourself after that expansion and opening. Sending the breath into the mid-back. Breathing in the space between your shoulder blades. Compressing the belly. As you compress the belly, feeling that exhale being forced out, letting go, detoxifying the body. And then bend the knees here. Come up to sitting, and we'll transition through sitting in a similar posture before finding our way to the other side with that similar movement. So now you can take your blanket and use it for your, if you need to reach your feet, or if you can reach your feet, you can bring your hands to your feet. I'm gonna take this yogi toe grip, take my 2 fingers to my feet, and I'm gonna actually use my feet now. And I'm gonna point my toes, and as I point my toes, I want you to feel how the shoulder blades pull apart. And I'll turn sideways so that you can see actually. I want you to feel as you point the toes, it rounds the upper back and rounds the shoulder blades and rounds the spine. And then inhale, feel the toes come up, feel the heart come forward, pull back with the elbows a little bit so the shoulder blades pull to the back of the body. And then exhale, point the toes and round. And then inhale, come up, feel the elbows pull back. You may even bend the elbows to pull the chest forward. And then we're oscillating between this extension of opening and expansion, and then exhale, rounding and closing. Let your breath lead you, moving through this little vinyasa of flexion and extension. Feeling the movement around the rib cage. I want you to feel the shoulder blades round as you point the toes, and then feel the shoulder blades pull back, almost like a little row as you lift up. Moving in and out of expansion and contraction, of opening and closing. Feeling the qualities of each position. The taking in and the letting go, movement between opposites. Welcoming everything. Being with yourself exactly as you are right now in this present moment. And then letting that motion go, letting the feet go, just coming back up to a seated position for a minute and pausing. Just noticing the effects on your body. Feel the ground beneath you. Finding support. Feeling
in you, connecting to a sense of vitality, of mobility, of action. And then feeling the remnants of that flow, of that movement, move like ripples through the body, following the sensation for about the lifespan of about 90 seconds it takes for sensation to rise and fall. Any sensation, whether it's feelings, emotions, if we don't feed it, if we just observe it, give it about 90 seconds, allow it to be there, welcome it, and then you'll feel it start to cascade down and recede. So notice if you can follow that. And then let's move to the other side. Bringing that roll, maybe you have to tighten it up again if it got flattened, underneath the armpit. And again, you could use your Coregeous ball or you could use your foam roller here. You can support the head with a block. And first, let's just breathe in again into the ribs. Getting some space, detoxifying the lungs, decompressing the heart, accessing the inside of the body here. To move deep, we have to go lighter, we have to go slower in order to sense and observe the more subtle aspects of ourselves. So using our breath, we'll move deep, breathing in, sip in a little bit more air, sip in a little bit more air, hold it, feel the pressure build, and then exhaling through the mouth. Let's do that again. Breathe in. Breathe in. Sip in a little bit more. Sip in a little bit more. Hold it there. Exhaling through the mouth. Exhale everything. Pause at the end of the exhale too. Waiting for the inhale to come. Slowly controlling it in. Feeling how it really expands you even more this time. And then just take a resting breath. Let's do 2 more rounds on your own. Sipping in the air, about 3 sips until you're full, pausing in the fullness. And also pausing in the emptiness. One more time. And then letting your breath return to normal. Feeling the change in the breadth of your breath. And then start to get a little rotation, a little ringing action. And as you do this rotation, letting your top arm reach back behind you like a T, pausing for a full breath, and then exhaling back to your side.
pausing for a breath. Inhaling and then exhaling, closing, mobilizing the bottom sides of the ribs. As well as wringing out this internal viscera, this thoracic vital cavity. Unsticking the lungs from the heart so the heart can contract freely. Unsticking the lungs from the inside of the ribs so that they can expand and bring life in. Unsticking anything you're holding on to, any emotions, so that everything can pass through, so that you can welcome everything and allow the hot heart to purify all things. Everything runs through the heart. Both physiologically in the body, and then it becomes that emotional center too. So allow the heart to pump, allow the heart to be free so that it can process everything to move through us, unsticking any feelings, emotions, beliefs, awakening us to the sense of openness. Take one more breath into this rotation. And then exhaling back to your side. Let's change that shoulder movement to a windmill action, letting the arms walk up overhead, keeping the fingertips on the floor as long as possible. Just pausing for a breath where those fingertips just want to start to lift, feeling that little bit of stretch, that little bit of effort, moving into that space, and then exhaling, let the arm come down and around. About 4 more rounds. Windmill the arm, sweep it up, walk the hand back, feel the limit of your motion, breathe into that edge, lengthening and expanding that edge, and then exhaling. 3 more times on your own pace. One more round. And then as the arm comes forward, let the legs come forward too, coming into that forward fold position on your side again. Bringing your gaze towards your navel, really curling and rounding, maybe even bending the knees, reaching for the feet, finding that forward fold, compressing and contracting. Coming back to center. Checking in with yourself. Being with yourself just as you are right now. Observing what's arising, feeling the sensations in the body, feeling the external support of the floor, feeling the internal support of your breath. And then rising up to sitting. And let's turn towards our bellies, but
I'm going to re-roll my blankets now. So you can use your Coregeous ball here too. But since I've been sticking with the blanket for ease for props, I'm going to roll my blanket up. So it's twice as thick. So it's about the size really now of that Coregeous ball, so that it's bigger and fatter, and it's going to come into my belly. And I'm going to have it just above the pubic bone. So I'm going to have it lower in the belly to begin. And I'm going to use it to prop up my pelvis. So it's in the front of my pelvis. And I'm going to come now to this back bend position. You can start out in a Sphinx type position on elbows if that feels right. And walk one foot out and then the other foot out, lengthening out the front of the pelvis and the front of the hips. And then allow yourself to come up, maybe only if it feels good, to the forearms. Drop the shoulder blades down the back. And now we're in this back bending position, much different than we've spent a lot of the class. A bit more opening. Back bendings are also energizing. So cultivating some energy. We did more letting go, wringing out, introspection as we move through the twisting, through the bending. And now let's open. Maybe even roll the shoulders back a few times, feeling the shoulders roll down the back, elongating the neck, shaking the head no, letting go of the jaw, maybe even dropping the bottom jaw. Feeling the heart pull forward, pulling, literally tractioning the upper body away from the lower body. Feel how this stimulates a bit more activity in the breath, activity in the body. And now I want to do a few breaths here, coming back to that real letting go breath, but we're going to open the mouth and create a little bit noise. And that's also going to facilitate this expression and this activation of this front throat area, which is also part of that deep myofascial core. So that myofascial core moves up from the diaphragm, which gives us that internal strength and vitality, that what am I thinking of? Kind of solar plexus area, then into our heart, and then into our throat. So take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, stick the tongue out, open the mouth wide, and go. It may even be a ha sound. Find a little bit of your voice here, of expressing. One more time. And then come all the way down. Rest on your belly. Feel that roll come right into the belly section. Let your arms come down. Let your head turn to one side. Let your breathing come back to normal. Let go of any efforting. Shake the legs. Let go of the glutes. Let the shoulders round. And then move your blanket upward. Move the blanket upward. towards the lower ribs now. So now you're in the rib cage, but below breast height, I would say. And come up to the Sphinx position now. And so now feel how the back is long, back is really long, and even pull the elbows into that blanket. Draw the elbows back, and feel now how it props up now the upper back, the sternal area, the heart space. Feel if you can press your hands into the floor, traction back through the heel of the hands and the elbows, feeling the shoulder blades drop down the back like you're going to crack open the sternum and the collarbones. Take a few breaths into the upper lungs now. Feel the expansion all around the collarbones, front, back. So the sternum lifts, the collarbones lift, the whole upper thorax expands like a balloon, ascending upward. And now keep that lift and walk the hands forward, making claws out of the fingertips, like you're going to claw back. And as you claw back, feel how that heart drives even further forward, creating even a little bit more lift. Keep the pubic bone pressing into the floor, thighs and tops of the feet on the floor. Just feel that upper back expansion. Hold for 3 breaths here. Take one more breath in. And then now lift the arms up. Reach the arms in front. Take a deep breath in. Then as you exhale, pull the elbows by your sides. Feel yourself get a little bit higher. As you exhale and open the mouth. Then reach up overhead. Look towards the floor. And then exhale, pull the elbows down. Deep breath in. Exhale, pull the arms down. One more time, reach up overhead. I lied. Last time, reach up. And then allow the blanket to come out. Come all the way down to your belly. Let your head turn to the other side. Shoulders round. And as you're ready, roll back onto your back. Again, feeling the support of the earth. Letting go of any effort. Feeling sensations. Body resting on the earth. Breath moving through the body. External support. Internal support. Feeling the effects of the practice. And allowing thoughts, feelings, emotions, beliefs, everything to move through. Welcoming everything just as it is. Allowing yourself to be just as you are. And in this place, seeing if you can cultivate a felt sense of feeling of joy beginning to open, to blossom at the heart. Feeling joy arise as a felt sense, blossoming like a flower. 1,000-petal lotus rising from the mud. And feeling that sense of joy blossom, filling the whole torso, going down through the legs, out the feet. Into the arms and out the hands. Up into the head. Filling the face. Maybe even a gentle, soft smile on the lips, the cheeks, and the eyes. Cultivating joy, or maybe it's just a sense of peace and well-being. Allow that well-being to resonate inside of you, knowing that you can come back to this place at any time, that it's always accessible. And when you're ready from this place, maybe give yourself a nice tight hug with gratitude for our bodies and the experience of all things. And roll to your side and come back to sit. Thank you so much for joining me. I know that was a little different practice, but I felt like it was well suited with everything that's going on right now to remind us to check in, to be grateful for what we have, and just allow all of the feelings and emotions and things to move through us. And know that you're equipped to find the right answer to everything that you're dealing with right now, that you have that internal wisdom and strength. So thank you for sharing this practice with me. I really appreciate you being here.